And we are live. We're looking at the sun at 193 angstroms. And we're going to give you a little bit of lead time here, 1 minute before we start the live stream. We're going to talk earthquakes. We're going to talk pornography and various other subjects like Ebola. So stay tuned. Give us 1 minute of lead time and we'll be right back. All right, and we are live, so do some more stuff here. We're looking at 171 angstroms, and we are looking at 48 hours here, folks. Not the shorter custom views we usually look at. Anyway, there's the last 2 days in 171 angstroms. We do see some magnetic loops, mainly around the southern portion. There is some activity rising slowly over the non-Earth side facing portion of the sun, and there is some filament eruption going on down here as well. Let that play through one more time for you. There's that filament eruption. No apparent Earth facing component of that. And let's just look at the 304 angstroms view also, as you'll get a better view of that filamentary eruption located near my pointer. Wait for it. There it goes. It looks like it collapsed back down onto the sun to me, folks. Please leave a comment if you agree, disagree, or want to fight me over it. All right, let's move on to some other stuff here. Here's the locations of the planets in your local solar system. If you're viewing from a different solar system, spacecraft, plane of existence, multiverse, please leave a comment, as we are very interested in cosmology on this channel. There's where things will be in 7 days. Mercury is going to win the race around the sun again. Next, we'll look at the real-time solar wind here. Solar wind density, 3.89 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed has ramped down further to 388 kilometers per second. Solar minimum conditions, but not as minimum as they were yesterday and the day before. So we see a little higher solar wind density here, and you'll see this reflected in the University of Michigan geospace model. We're looking at the magnetosphere here, as we do every day on this channel. 4 hours of data for you there. And this is the data archiving section. After the density, we'll look at the pressure. And something hinky is going on with the data. Looks like it's showing us only one frame. Let's press refresh and see what happens. Could just be an error on the web page, but it looks like the pressure data is not there. Oh, there we go. Okay. It was just a glitch. There's the pressure. We'll let that play through. Next, we're going to look at magnetosphere movies, ground geospace perturbations. Here are the magnetic perturbations closer to home. As Birkeland currents pass through the planet and indeed your head, we see two North Poles, one over Siberia, one over Canada. And we see the South Geomagnetic Pole creeping toward into the Indian Ocean. It's probably located about here, folks. If you're in Antarctica and you've got a compass, please take a photograph and email me at smashomash@gmail.com. That's smashomash@gmail.com. Here's what's going on above my head. Check out in-the-sky.org to create your own sky map. You can even animate it. How good is that? As Saturn sets and the moon chases, Venus is about to rise. If you've got a low horizon, get a photograph of that. It's going to be spectacular. The morning star. Let's check out Galaxy Zoo at zooniverse.org, where we need citizen scientists to classify galaxies since computers are incapable. Check out this semi-spiral. It's got features. It's not just a plain old elliptical. Is it an edge-on disk? Well, certainly not. Is there a bar? I don't think so. Is there any sign of a spiral arm pattern? I'm going to say yes. Those dust lanes do look spiral in shape. You can see some out here, some closer to the nucleus. How tightly wound? Very tightly wound. Anyway, if you want to classify galaxies, head to zooniverse.org's Galaxy Zoo project. People have been featured in science journals already because of their classification of these galaxies. We're going to say it as a moderate bulge. Speaking of bulges, I think I forgot to bring out because of the classification of these galaxies, we're going to say, I think I forgot to bring out the chat, folks. And I forgot to mute the video. All right, let's bring out the chat and get this thing moving here before it becomes too long and we find ourselves collecting Social Security checks. Is it merging or disturbed? I don't think so. Is there any rare features? Well, I'm going to say we see a lens or arc. We see dust lanes. We see overlap from this probably in the background galaxy as it looks redshifted. And that's about it. That's how you classify a galaxy. Zooniverse.org, the largest citizen science project in the world. Talking about science projects, check out the smAsho mission, which is to assist, study, and report on the ongoing formation of a unified theory of physics to raise the awareness of the general public of the relationship between space weather and Earth effects, to connect and consult with media organizations to multiply our reach, to demonstrate cutting-edge proof of concept solutions to problems, to publish scientific papers in a multidisciplinary manner, including but not limited to the sciences scrolling down the screen, or I should say up the screen. Also to assist mankind by advancing the study of predictive phenomenon to optimize value, help the humans, reduce risk/liability, save lives and resources, and adapt no matter what the adversity for the humans is. And lastly, to not be ossified in our beliefs and treat those who are with love, respect, and inclusion to the scientific discussion. Making your donations tax deductible by the end of the year, smashomash.org is already a thing. Although we are not officially a nonprofit organization yet, folks. It's coming. Thanks to our latest patron for your generosity. If you're not a patron, open up your dust-filled, moth-infested wallet and put in $1 a month. Otherwise, you won't see custom GIF animations like this. That wasn't exactly a zoom in, was it? Anyway, check out patreon.com/smashomash. Even if you refuse to donate, some posts are actually public, and every little bit counts, folks, which is why the tier is only $1. So thanks for those who refuse to donate to Patreon. If you just want to buy products and give us a cut, Check out the Spaced Out campaign, specifically formulated for our spaced out viewers. Check out hemplucid.com via the links in the description below this video. Get some discounts on 1,000 milligram whole plant CBD hemp seed oil suspension, or perhaps on some Kalki THC-free products for those athletes out there who don't want any THC screwing up their whatever, whether it's testing or their brain. Whole plant CBD supporting products such as lip balm, body butter, wax, etc., and CBD for your pets. A smart idea. If your dog has an itchy coat, perhaps try some CBDs, as inflammation is a huge enemy. Check out theveloshop.net, the official cycling sponsor of me, an official bike shop of the Lehigh Valley, Velodrome, that is. Now, if you don't know how to work on bikes, take your bike to a bike shop. Support your local bike shop, folks. There's a reason why these things exist, and it's because the stuff that they sell is very expensive and very complex and minimalist. So if you need something like a tune-up or an overhaul, head to theveloshop.net. Also, perhaps if you'd like to purchase a bike online because your prepping arsenal is not including a bike yet, or perhaps purchase a bike online and then head to the shop and get a free bike fit, a $225 value, or a $250 value if you buy a time trial bike. theveloshop.net. Check out the music links in the description, also below the video. Soundclick.com/GoldenCat as well as SoundCloud.com/Daniel-Nigro-2. I know that's a very catchy title. And that's my actual name, if you weren't aware, folks. I'm not too concerned about it, as I've been a public figure for over 20 years. Check out spaceweather.com, dropping some truth bombs on cosmic ray flux. If you weren't aware, we're not at the cosmic ray maximum or the deepest solar minimum of the past century. The deepest solar minimum of the past century was the 2009 to 2010 solar minimum. And while cosmic ray flux is higher now than it was in 2015, which makes it a terrible time to go to Mars or the moon, especially Mars, since you won't return alive. You'll get to Mars, you'll be alive, but you'll die there or on your way back, because you will continue to get pelted with cosmic rays due to the all but lack of a magnetic field on the planet Mars. Anyway, here's a paper in the journal Space Weather describing the findings. Let me read a quote. Now, they only measured between 2015 and 2018. The overall decrease in solar activity has led to an increased flux of energetic particles to levels that are approaching those observed during the previous solar minima in 2009 to 2010, which was the deepest minimum of the space age. So for all the channels that are telling you that cosmic ray flux is higher than it was back then, or that this solar minimum is a deeper solar minimum than the solar minimum of 2009 to 2010, they're either lying or ignorant, or perhaps both. Anyway, the data have implications for human exploration of deep space and may provide useful benchmarks for models of cosmic ray fluxes as a function of solar modulation. Now, the question I'm asking myself is, what causes the sun to behave the way it does? And I'm not going to say anything else about that and give away things that I will publish in a scientific paper later this year. In any case, you are not at the cosmic ray maximum, despite what University of Delaware may tell you about it. And you are not at the lowest solar minimum of the space age, which again happened in 2009 to 2010. Let's look at more data to corroborate that Since it's super obvious, let's look at the thermosphere index. Since the thermosphere is the first portion of the atmosphere that gets heated by the sun, and we ain't got no thermosphere index. There we go. So if you notice, the thermosphere was colder at the last solar minimum than it is now. And oh man, can I get a zoom? Can I get a zoom? Oh, there we go. So notice this area right here. There's the last minimum. There's the current minimum. If you weren't aware, folks, that's a good thing. Don't get fear-mongered into believing stuff that isn't true. All right. We're going to skip cosmic rays, but there are links to our cosmic ray link page, which is not a fake news Russian site, although it is a Russian site. If you're scared, then don't click it. I could care less, but it's got links to all of the cosmic ray sites that we monitor. Let's look at spaceweathernews.com. Holla, Ben Davidson. Here's the GOES X-ray flux. It's totally flatlined. Magnetometer smoothing out. And we'll look at the gong in a minute. Little smoother magnetometer situation there. Keep in mind that these two lines, the red is the GOES 14, the blue is the GOES 15, and the M's and N's mean midnight and noontime, local time for the satellites. So if you weren't aware of that, it's kind of important to understand the fluctuation in that. And if you see a smooth wave, it means it's pretty much not fluctuating. KP was at 0 at midnight, and it's come up to 1 since then due to a slightly increased solar wind density. Electron flux is looking pretty smooth and in a nominal range. We see no type of charging hazards. F2 layer is very discharged, especially on the nighttime side, not as discharged as it was yesterday. No real surprises there. Aurora forecasts are going to be pretty basic. And there you have the week auroral forecasts for Borealis and Australis. And there's a relativistic electron flux. It's come off its high levels here. Again, not nearly as high as they were in August of 2018, as we documented on the channel, since we make these videos every day. Here's the total electron content. People's GPSs should be having a more normal amount of errors. We see some significant electron flux there around Western Africa at the beginning of the video. However, level's pretty low right now, so your GPSs should be working fine. Don't get this confused with the relativistic electron flux, folks. The density of relativistic electrons is really small compared to the density of what we're looking at here. This is trying to look at all the electrons. Relativistic ones are just ones that are moving at ridiculous speeds. And we're not going to get into the physics of all that because it gets pretty complicated. Here's it going to. Again, we do see some activity out here in between stereo A and Earth right now. Best guess is that that would be south of the solar equator. And we're not going to look too in-depth into it because it's nothing major happening. It's not obscuring the fields of the sun. Check us out on Instagram if you want to see other social media, some stuff not space weather related. Also on twitter.com/smAshomash, facebook.com/smAshomash. Keep in mind this personal account here, this is my nearly 5,000 friends account, and it's not taken very seriously at all, nor is Facebook. However, we do interact a bit on Facebook. Please find my personal account, as there's too much. It's just too much. I mean, I've got about 11,000 social, well, probably about 20,000 total social media hits on every post nowadays, which is why it's so delightful that we get nearly 100 views on the YouTube videos. Anyway, also gab.com/smAshomash. And don't forget to set yourself up an account at minds.com, the future of social media, the open source social media that will not censor you, like companies like Google and Facebook and Apple and Twitter will. Help us get to 500,000 views, folks. currently at 469,704 subscribers. Geez. There's only about 300,000, I would guess, active users on Minds right now. But again, it's the future of social media, folks. If you don't believe me, then just wait and watch. I mean, I've been talking about how big tech is going to pay the piper. Anyway, thanks for subscribing, everybody who has, and thanks for pressing that like button, everybody who has. Thanks for leaving a comment, everybody who's taking the time to do so on YouTube, as the analytics there are ridiculous. Let's check out the endoftheamericandream.com blog. Did you know it wasn't normal to have 20 earthquakes of magnitude 3.0 or greater hit California within the past 24 hours? This article is from July 2016. And we do pride ourselves on being practically real-time data here. Anyway, California has experienced thousands and thousands and thousands of quakes following that 7+ magnitude, which occurred right underneath the China Lake Naval Weapons Test Facility. We've been seeing quakes farther north. Anyway, links to this article are in the description. As of the 16th, there were over 8,500 quakes of all magnitudes in California and Nevada. And what we're worried about is the big one, folks, because if the U.S. gets a 9+ magnitude earthquake, especially in a place like California, which contains 1/3 of the real estate value of the whole country, let's just say it would be less than advantageous for the U.S. economy. Anyway, that's why we encourage our viewers to have things like a plan before California breaks off the continental shelf and sinks into the sea. Just kidding, folks. Not going to break off and sink into the sea, as much as many of you would like to see it happen. Earthquake rundown as quickly as possible. 4.8 in Japan. That quake not at depth. So 78.1 kilometers, so some depth. Here's a 4.4. Northern, off the coast of northern Central America there. 4.9 at Tonga, 4.5 at Australia, 5.1 at Indonesia. Largest quake we've seen, I think, ever on this channel in this location. Out off the coast of Oregon. We'll show you the location of that one. U.S. viewers, check it out. Looks like some rift type areas there. You can see clear, practically a swastika shape in there. Anyway, there's a location of that quake. Again, largest quake we've ever covered in that location on this channel, and we've been doing this for over a year. 4.5 at Iran as the Middle Eastern quakes continue. 4.9 at India. Right on the plate boundary there. 4.8 at the East Pacific rise. A 4.7 at Indonesia. That one at extremely deep depth, 556 kilometers. Heads up for a large quake at the surface there, folks. The tsunami implications would be pretty significant, considering the topography of that area. Again, 555.6 kilometers. Here's a 4.2 off of the Aleutian Islands, 4.5 at Ecuador. Another 4.5 at Ecuador, 5.4 at Ecuador. Is it a ramp up in Ecuadorian quakes? How about a 4.4 at Alaska? 4.6 at Caso Junction. Now, we've been seeing quakes farther north in California, if you weren't aware of that. Covered one yesterday. If you weren't aware, please watch yesterday's video's earthquake section. And for you regular viewers, we're going to soon have clips where you can watch just the earthquake section, or just the sun section, or just the me talking smack about whatever I want to talk about section. Anyway, that 7.1 magnitude quake actually occurred somewhere around here, and right under the Naval Air Warfare Combat Center China Lake facility. And we see a quake in Hawaii as well. Here's another Indonesian quake, 4.1. Wait, what did I miss? This Hawaiian quake, let's just take a quick look at that, as we've been seeing some apparent magmatic activity. This one in nearly the same place as the quake we covered yesterday. Again, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, pardon the length, but there's some interesting stuff about big tech that you may not have been aware of. Check out Cosmos Magazine. One of the dumbest articles I've seen lately. I think this one might be, yes, this one's much dumber than carbon sequestration. Is it time to create artificial blizzards in Antarctica? Links to this ridiculous article. Actually, it's a good article about a ridiculous idea. All they want to do is desalinize 3 trillion tons of, all they want to do is they just want to use 145 gigawatts of energy, about the output of 12,000 high-end wind turbines, to desalinize the water, and then they want to create artificial blizzards over Antarctica. It sounds like an utterly idiotic idea. Let us know what you think in the comments. Again, links to this article about the dumbest thing I've ever heard, even dumber than carbon sequestration. Now, it is winter in Antarctica. Does it look melted to you? I'm really worried. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's summer in Greenland. Does it look melted to you? If you read mainstream nonsense articles and watch mainstream nonsense news broadcasts, people are very worried that these things are melting. And yet, once again, that's 9 feet on the scale and more than 5 meters on the location flag. So right here it's melted, where it's sunny all day long, since it's summertime. But right here there's more than 5 meters of snow. So I don't know if you're aware. Now you are, hopefully. How about and that's real-time data from windy.com. Please install their mobile app, as it could save your mobile assets. Volcano rundown. Sanjiang Api, 8,000 foot ash plume. Popocatépetl, still exploding, producing a 28,000 foot ash plume. I think that one shut down for a day yesterday. It took a little break, and now it's back at it. Fuego. Volcanic emission not observed, yet on the list anyway. Okay, thanks. Revenador, 15,000 foot ash plume there, as explosive activity continues. And those intermittent missions at Sab and Kaya are often followed by massive explosions with lava fountaining out. So please don't do the broad jump over that. It could be unhealthful. You got some heavy storms over Wisconsin. Shout out Jesse Philibbrand. Please give us a custom weather report for Eastern PA. Jesse Philibbrand's Weather Channel. Oh my gosh, he's got information coming out of his pores. Anyway, check out lightningmaps.org if you hear thunder. Save your bacon. There's a storm. Let's zoom in. Zooming in. Captain, sensors indicate possible Sasquatch farts. There are those storms. Madison, you are in the crosshairs. Also Milwaukee. There's going to be a high surf advisory on Lake Michigan in about 2 hours. Now we see obvious Sasquatch farts over California, Texas, and Mississippi. So you can see, though, they're clearly indicated on the US Doppler radar map. If you have any footage of dimensional portals open and things that look like Wookiees coming out of them, possibly connecting with your mind and taking you on psychic walks through tiptoed tulip patches, please leave a comment. Please send us a photograph of anything that looks like Chewbacca that comes out of a portal in the sky. We are very interested in your Sasquatch sightings, and look forward to seeing some footage of that. Let's look at this convergence zone over Milwaukee and Wisconsin and southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. Shout out Iowans. Let us know if the corn is as high as an elephant's knee. We see major Hall current streamers here perpendicular to the motion of the water. That's why we're looking at the water vapor map. We look at this on a regular basis as convective forces run the show instead of the jet stream. We see a clockwise rotation of high moisture regions here as massive rainfall falls in southeastern Missouri. Prepare for massive rainfall to fall in Wisconsin, because it's going to sweep right across the state, right across Lake Michigan, hit the northern portion of Michigan. And I will now stop stepping on David Schlotauer's toes. And this is an ass. This is a hole in the ground. Talk about one holy hell of a hole in the ground. That's a real thing, folks. I did not Photoshop that. That is, I don't know where that is. I think it's in the Far East somewhere. That's a freaking sinkhole. If that doesn't look like a gateway to hell, I don't know what does. Let's talk about scams. YouTube monetization is a
scam.
If you think YouTube's going to pay you and you're going to
speculate
about further investments because of money earned on YouTube, you will find out very quickly that it is a complete, utter, and total
scam.
We're not going to go into big tech very much today, and we're just going to press that X button. I don't even know what it does. Oh my goodness, what's happened? We're on USA Today, which is trying to get us to subscribe, which is a hilarious notion. Oh my goodness, it's opened a tab. I have no idea where I am. Okay, there we go. I could have sworn I was on an article. All right, here we go. Ebola outbreak in Congo declared an international health emergency by WHO. Apparently, the virus spread to a city of over 2 million. More than 1,600 people have died. It's the second deadliest Ebola outbreak in history, which is why I'm not a big fan of standing around in airports. Just saying. Anyway, links to this article also. It won't be often you'll see USA Today articles. And let's talk about something just for the fun of it. I used to be a psychology major. I took 83% of the core classes to get a BS in that. And since I realized college was BS, I got the hell out of there. Study shows female brain responds to porn the same as a male brain. Now, I've known this for decades because the studies that back this up have been out since at least the 90s when I started taking college level psych classes. Anyway, links to the article below the video. If you weren't aware, men and women respond almost identically to pornography. So please click the description box below the video, and maybe you'll find things like the daily solar wind graphs, which we see has recently had a ramp up to 600 plus kilometers per second, as well as a density up to, what is that, about 50 protons there? Anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody, to the Smash stream. We're going to play some more images of the sun, and then we're going to exit stage east. Don't try to use that information as telemetry data for a missile strike on me, because it won't work. The electromagnetic fields will prevent it. And thanks for leaving comments, all of you electromagnetic field emitters out there. Again, if you're viewing the video from a different universe, galaxy, solar system, spacecraft, etc., please leave a comment, perhaps with a galaxy map. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again for taking the time to leave a comment. If you're watching the video not live, leave a comment anyway. We will read every one of them. We might not respond to every one of them, but we'll read them for sure. We're not big enough yet to say we don't read all the comments. And once we get that big, I'll hire someone to read all the comments. Sorry, Kahlo Jan, I didn't save that one for posterity. Let's look at one more image of the sun here. How about some 131 angstroms? It's got that nice aqua color. This is 48 hours, folks. Let that play through. This one, like the 94 angstroms view, does take 10 images per minute instead of only 2 images per minute. So you do get a little higher temporal resolution on this. Again, similar to the 94 angstroms view, which is the green, the Kelly green colored. And that's about all I have to say for now, folks. So cheers. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for staring at the sun, as it's a pretty smart thing to do, especially if you want to do stuff like predict things. And remember, when you're staring at the sun, don't drink. And if you drink, stare at the sun anyway. Just don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, may the solar wind be at your back and the atherosclerosis absent from your arteries.